These are stories about murder.
Could there be a hidden clue?
Things that are exceptionally alarming.
Like what?
Just alarming things.
Because he's at the bottom of the ocean, every little sound is intensely magnified. He hears animals eating his friends and crewmates.
Oh my God. Instead of scattering ashes, he had simply dumped them in the parking lot. In Germany, before a royal court.
Thought she was Polish.
No, the magician is Polish.
This is 3 Shots In.
And today, we're talking about...
Welcome back to 3 Shots In. I'm Jess.
I'm Jake. Thank you for joining us. This is episode 19.
And today we're talking about rubbish.
Rubbish!
It's rubbish, innit? Innit, rubbish.
Hello, rubbish.
It's rubbish.
Absolutely. It's disgusting. Disgusting rubbish.
Shout out to all you guys in the UK listening.
Yeah, fuck you guys. Oh, I mean, shout out to you guys. USA. USA. Come on, Jess. USA.
No, they don't need to hear that.
They know we're better.
They know we love where we are.
Whatever.
They love where they are too. That's okay.
Anyway, even if you're in the fucking dirty ass UK, thank you so much for listening. We do love you, but we love some of you more. And those are our patrons.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys. You're the best.
The best.
We love you.
The absolute best. And if you want to be a patron yourself, go ahead and go on to 3shotsin.com. You'll find our Patreon page through there. And you subscribe, you become the best. Mm-hmm. You go from nothing to something, you know?
Right.
It's awesome.
We've got a little patron shout out. We've got a list of all your names.
We do.
Here at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
It's awesome.
And you get access to so many exclusive things. So like if you're not a part of that, like go do it. Or else, you know, you probably have like a really small penis or something.
I mean, something like that.
Yeah.
You're definitely missing out. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I bet your penis would be bigger if you listened, honestly.
Honestly, I think statistically it's been proven.
Statistically, you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a scientific study, I think, that was done that says so.
That's crazy.
I know. You know.
It's wild.
Anyway, for shots tonight, we had some more El Jimador. You know, we bought that big ass bottle and we just love it so much we got to keep shooting it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan.
But word on the street is that our father is driving from California back to Texas, and I may or may not have told him to pick us up some weird bottles of liquor.
You said word on the street. Do you mean the word in your SMS text messages between you and him?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, I told him, pick us up some weird bottles for the podcast.
Okay.
I was told he already has 2. Uh-huh. And he's not even in Flagstaff.
Whoa.
That's like a third of the trip.
He's got a long way to go.
We're going to get some weird liquor. Mm-hmm. And I'm really excited for it.
Right.
What I'm even more excited for, though, these drinks.
They are a creation of someone unknown, but Jacob has recreated them. So
I found this in the deep, dark Urban Dictionary definitions of the word rubbish.
What are they called again? Squishy rubbish or something?
It was why don't I remember?
Squubbish rubbish. Is that wrong?
You're wrong. I can't even grab my phone because it's charging and I need it.
Hold on. It was Quidditch rubbish. Squally. It's gone.
Who cares? Jake created a cocktail tonight without the help of anyone from Urban Dictionary. And it is a Coors Light with a shot of vodka, a splash of orange juice, and 2 dashes of orange bitters. Mm-hmm. And fuck, this is good.
It's really tasty. With a name like Squubbish Rubbish or whatever it was called, I really thought this was not going to be so great, but it's fine.
It's really good.
It's quite nice.
It's really fucking good.
Did you say the ingredients just now?
I already did.
Okay.
Yeah. No, and it's really good. And if you didn't hear them because you're Jess and your little horse ears couldn't hear, I'm sorry. I'm not going to repeat it.
First of all, if I was a horse, my ears would be much bigger than they are. The reason I didn't hear you is because I'm human.
False. Updates? You got any updates?
Not really. I finally created a very beautiful, intricate, professional intro and outro for our videos, our YouTube videos.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You showed me. I thought they were very good.
They were very nice. But for those of you watching right now, that intro that you're watching, that you have already seen, wasn't created until this episode. So I had to add it in after the fact to the episodes.
To former episodes.
To the episodes you've already seen. Yeah. Where I'm trying to learn video editing. So it's a little slower of a process. So the podcast episodes are coming out way before the YouTube episodes. And that's the way it goes.
Oh, well, if you really want to hear the episodes early, subscribe on Patreon. 3shotsin.com, subscribe on Patreon. You'll hear those episodes right when they come out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You'll hear them.
You'll hear them right when they come out, just like anyone else on Patreon, for sure.
Totally. Which episodes do you mean? The audio ones or the...
I was hinting that we were like one of those podcasts that's like really on top of their shit and puts the episodes out on Patreon like 2 days
But we're not.
early.
We're not like that.
No, but maybe one day. You never know.
Oh, sure. One day.
Maybe by the time this is on YouTube, we are.
Maybe.
So
one day, hopefully one day soon, if you're a patron, you get to have access to all these YouTube videos much earlier than, the normal mid public,
the little plebes,
the plebeian public,
the leeches just sucking off the free entertainment,
sucking off the teat of all of us content creators,
skipping past our ads like fucks.
Right.
Yeah, those guys.
We're probably not going to get monetized on YouTube.
Oh, we're definitely not.
I mean, 80% of the time because of what the things Jacob says, but like 20% of the time because of the things I say.
Wow. You think it's 80-20?
No, that's an exaggeration, but I do think it's like at least 60-40.
60-40 is what I would say. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're agreed. 60 Jessica, 40 me.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. That sounds right.
Well, Jacob, why don't you go ahead and spin the wheel?
Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. I will.
That's a great spin, Jake.
Thank you.
Very strong.
Thank you. I've actually had noticeably weaker wrists lately.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. They're just very not feeling great. Maybe I'm getting the carpal tunnel.
Oh no.
I know, from typing away, that 85, 90 words per minute catches up with you.
Right. You got that tunneling in your carpals right now.
I got it. My carpals are not happy. Anyway, we got, what's rubbish.
Ah.
And so I think that's like a what's rubbish. And then we just start listing off things that are just complete rubbish.
Right. Just
Yeah.
rubbish things. It's rubbish, innit?
It's a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, Jake, you span. So
I did span.
What is rubbish to you? What's something that...
you want to know what's rubbish?
What is rubbish?
The fact that cable TV costs so much. And in order to offset that, you subscribe to streaming services. But in order to subscribe to the number of streaming services that you actually want, you're paying just as much as you would have cable.
Or you have subscriptions to like Pluto TV or Tubi, where you get the scraps that none of the other main streaming services wanted, but they are all free. You don't have to pay anything. You just do still have to watch ads. You gotta watch
ads.
But you don't have to pay.
Which brings me to my second point. You want to know what's rubbish?
What's rubbish?
That my dumb wife is like, Jake, why am I going to pay for Hulu for that much when I can get it for this much with a bundle with Disney and ESPN? And I'm like, dude, we don't watch Disney. We don't watch ESPN. We watch Hulu. I don't want a bundle. I just don't want to see all these fucking ads.
But you would be getting more bang for your buck, though.
Stupid. I don't care. I just don't want to see ads. And then she's like, why don't you want to watch this show with me? I'm like, because every 5 fucking minutes I'm watching a commercial for fucking Gillette.
Like what?
I don't want to see
show?
it. Who get fucking all of the alones. I don't want to watch them with ads.
Oh, where are you watching them?
On Hulu.
I told you I would give you my Discovery Plus.
Your Discovery Plus is not going to exist in the next 3 weeks.
It doesn't matter. For the next 3 weeks, you could be watching it with no ads.
BS. I don't care.
Or you could keep being a, fucking annoying pussy bitch who couldn't complain all the time.
You know what's rubbish?
You got sand inside your little hypothetical pussy?
You know what's rubbish? My bitch of a sister. Absolute rubbish. How do you like that?
I don't. You can still have my Discovery Plus, though, information.
Thanks,
if you want.
But your Discovery Plus isn't going to exist.
You could also continue whinging and whining about all of your ads because you don't have Discovery Plus.
I will still consider it rubbish.
That makes sense to me.
Rubbish. I can keep going. You got anything?
I'm sure I
He's gonna
do.
sit there and fucking-
There are a lot of things I think are rubbish, honestly. But let's see. We've been talking about Alone a lot.
Yeah.
I really like it. I've seen 7 seasons so far, maybe 8 or 9.
There's only 8 total, I think.
No, there's 9.
Oh.
So I definitely haven't seen 9 because there's 2 seasons I think I haven't seen yet. But either way, now that I'm basically an expert on it because I've
You're
seen so many.
basically a survivalist yourself.
Right, exactly. I think it's rubbish that people jump onto the show just wanting to prove to themselves something to themselves and not actually win.
I did it. I built a fire and a shelter within 72 hours. I have nothing to prove.
I'm done.
I'm going to leave
I'm
now.
going to go home now. Now, listen, I understand that for the purposes of the show, it means that they leave room for other people, to win.
Screen time wise.
Yeah. Means that out of 10 people, because that's the number of contestants, 1 person will be left behind. The person usually who actually needs it. Not always, I'm sure. But so far, every person has found a way to use it in like a good way and not just like, I just wanted to make sure that all of my survival skills, because there is a shocking number of people on there who say that they're survivalists and that they teach survival skills to other people and that they wanted to put themselves to the test, actually fail and don't last the whole time.
They don't. They're quote unquote survival experts and they just watched Man vs. Wild for like 3 weeks and we're like, oh, I got this.
I'm actually not sure. Like I went camping with my dad 7 times throughout my childhood and now I'm a survivalist. I really don't know.
Terrible.
They know more than me, but listen, men and women out there, that is not a compliment. To know more about survival than me.
No, listen, I've seen their shitty little shelters. I can build that. Not even knowing how to do it, just having seen it, I can do that.
Yeah.
That's easy as shit. To build your tiny little sad shelter, I can build my own tiny little sad shelter.
Yeah.
And do you have anything else that's rubbish, Jessica?
No.
I do.
I mean, probably I do, but
I do.
what?
Electronic vehicles are rubbish. They are so sad. Listen, I will give Tesla the benefit of the doubt because I've been in one Tesla and it functioned far superior to any vehicle I've been in.
Okay.
Only difference is that my vehicle can travel forever. All I got to do is stop every 4 hours and take 2 minutes to put gas in my car. The Tesla's got to stop every 300 miles if you're not running the air conditioner or the radio.
Yeah.
And take an hour to charge up and then it can keep going.
Yeah.
But all these other electric vehicles, they're so sad. Have you heard them like overworking going up hills?
No.
Oh, it's the saddest thing.
That's terrible.
My friend, when I worked at Starbucks, had an electronic Fiat.
A Fiat?
A Fiat. And it functioned so terribly.
Oh, no.
It was just awful.
That is terrible.
It was rubbish.
It's rubbish. It is. It's
It
what
is.
it is.
Absolutely.
You know what's rubbish, Jake?
What's rubbish?
All of these video editing softwares
Yeah.
having controls like user interfaces set up as though someone basically put you in the pilot seat of a helicopter and that's it. Okay, figure it out now.
Okay, go now.
Yeah.
I mean, but like you can probably figure it out.
Over the course of like several weeks. It's so silly. There's so many buttons and like this menu opens this and this menu opens that.
I hate that my free software does so much. That's what you sound like.
I'm talking about the interface. I paid for these services.
You know what's rubbish?
I'm not using the free one.
You know what's rubbish? You.
Go ahead.
You're rubbish.
Let it all out.
Oh, I will.
Big nose.
Oh, I paid for these services and I don't know how to use them. Why are there so many features of this service that I paid for? And why don't I know how to use them? Why am I a horse? Why do my children hate me?
Yeah.
Why does my husband not love me? The answers are very clear.
My husband does love me and so do my children.
The answers are very clear.
And what are the answers?
You are a dumbass horse, Jessica. Stop complaining about your video features and name a real thing that you think is rubbish.
That is a real thing I think
Name
is
a
rubbish.
real thing, not a fake
You know what
thing.
I think is rubbish?
What?
You.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think I'm rubbish? Oh,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
creative.
Yeah. I love that from where you are, You can smell whether or not my house is on fire or not. You could detect an emergency with your stupid, enormous nose that detects scents from like a mile away, for several miles away, like Jaws. And yet you wouldn't show up to save me. How about that? He wouldn't. He would be like, but imagine the tip of the nose is out here.
My tip of my nose doesn't go out that far.
It probably does,
It
actually.
doesn't. You can see it.
I know, but I'm at an angle where I can't tell how far it goes. And you guys can. It's out to like here.
It isn't.
Jessica's in trouble, like Lassie. Oh no, they need help. And he wouldn't show up to help me out of this house. Me and my children and husband, he wouldn't care.
First of all, fuck you and your husband and your children. You think I'm going to come save you?
Yeah,
Jess?
because I'd save you.
I'm not saving you because you're a horse. And I have no other answer to that.
Great.
Horse.
Cool.
You know what's rubbish?
That your nose can reach in between the crevices of bark in order to lick up ants like an anteater, and you don't, but you still complain that like you're hungry sometimes.
It's not what I was going to say.
It's really annoying that you complain about not having food, but you could easily just be slurping up fucking ants out of little crevices.
That's not what I was going to say.
Because of your enormous nose.
It's not what I was going to say.
Okay.
I was going to say, you know what's rubbish?
What is?
The fact that Hanzo is so little teeny tiny Hanzo. I think it's rubbish because he's got 6 foot man energy, you know?
That he has the energy for it. Sure.
He's got 6 foot man energy, but just 4 foot man genetics, you know?
Yeah. Yes, that's true. And I mean, listen, should we be coming at him right now when we haven't heard from him in a while? And, you know, he's got his own shit going on. Maybe we shouldn't be.
But that's rubbish, in
But
it?
it's fucking rubbish.
It's rubbish, in it?
It's rubbish.
Shit on him. He's probably out there wheezing, just wheezing, going up his stairs.
Any stairs at all. Remember slight inclines.
Any slight incline.
Hanzo goes out of his way to use the ramp that people in wheelchairs use and still wheezes on the way up.
He zigzags the whole way, and he's still wheezing, going up.
Yeah.
He probably thinks that inclines are rubbish. Well, he doesn't know it's him and his dirty little lungs.
His rubbish heart.
Yeah, he's got.
lungs.
You would think he has black lung.
His
It's
organs.
so bad.
Yeah, his organs are rubbish. Love you, Hanzo.
Yeah, I don't. Fuck you, Hanzo. And it's time. We're gonna move on. The wheel is over. It's done.
Okay. You go first this time.
I know. I'm unplugging my phone because it was charging.
I'm nervous because
it was gonna die.
you're gonna talk about that stuff you were saying is absolutely awful.
I do have an awful topic tonight.
And you said it's enraging.
It is really bad.
Okay.
So here we go. So when you think rubbish, right, you either go directly to the Brits, just yelling the word rubbish around willy-nilly,
Of course.
or you think trash.
I do.
When you think trash can, maybe trash compactor, maybe something to do with trash.
A
But
dumpster.
Eventually it all ends up into the same spot, a landfill,
A trash heap.
a trash heap in a landfill.
Oh.
Okay. Now, landfills are all over the United States, probably many places in the world. Other places just simply dump their trash in the ocean. You know, we don't here in the US. We put it on our land. Okay.
And we fill it.
We fill that land. So have you ever heard of the EPA?
No.
It's, I mean, I didn't really care enough to look into what the initials stand for, but it's some government entity that I guess
For the purpose of.
I'm sure they do other things, but one of the things they do is track the statistics of landfill and waste in the United States. They've been around for more than 30 years doing this. That's their whole thing.
Yeah.
And they stated that in the US, landfills per year, so the amount of waste that ends up in landfills per year is 265 million tons.
Whoa.
That is a lot. Now, in parentheses, that was as of 2013, by the way. Now, do you know the difference between long tons and short tons?
No.
Yeah, I don't either. But it said 265 million tons, which equates to either 261 million long tons or 292 million short tons.
Tongues?
Tons.
Oh.
Like a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what that means. So I just ignored those. But I thought maybe someone who knows what those mean. That
Sounds
means
like
would
a
be,
lot.
interested. Oh, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot. Obviously, this composts of mostly about 30% paper,
You mean
paperboard.
it consists.
That's what I said.
You said composts.
That's not what I said.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't.
Okay.
Yard trimmings, right? And other like food scraps, organic material, about 27%. Obviously, there's plastic, metal, rubber, wood, glass, all sorts of shit. Build up the rest of it. Leads up to 265 million fucking tons. Okay. Now, back in 1986, there were 7,683 landfills in the United States. It's a lot of landfills. But by 2009, we've decreased them. We've gotten rid of some landfills. We're being very earthly, you know?
Earth-minded.
Yes.
Conservational.
Yes. We only have 1,908 landfills nationwide.
That is not a lot.
No,
That's way less than I thought.
That's a 75% decline in landfills over only a 25-year period. That's pretty fucking good. Okay.
Really good.
Now, obviously, you know, the number's a little deceptive. Okay. Much of the decrease was due to the, that's a big word, consolidation. So basically, multiple landfills would merge and just become one. So
Okay.
the number would decrease.
Sure.
Some merged because they became more efficient if they were to have merged. Technology allowed for each acre in a landfill to be able to hold more trash, which meant they would need less landfills.
I mean, that's still a good thing.
I mean, look, shocker, the amount of trash that we have hasn't decreased at all. But our landfills have, technically.
That's a good thing, I'd say.
That's right. So when I thought of landfills, my first thought was, how many bodies are found in landfills?
Like a lot.
Well, apparently no official study has been done. Okay. So they're saying that it's really, really difficult to track this specific statistic. And apparently leads to misleading numbers every time they do it because it's just so varying
Sure.
from landfill to landfill, state by state, fucking country to country. It is very difficult. But within the US, they can make an estimate. So it's not an official number, but it's an estimate. Between 1990 and 2018, so within a 28-year period, 38 year, 30, 20. Between that time, there were 15,957 cases of unidentified remains found in the United States, and only 616 of those cases were found in landfills.
Okay.
So the odds
That's not so bad.
of a body being found in a landfill are very slim. They're just not there, or we just can't find them there.
Because it's so vast, yeah.
So the suggested amount would be that 34 people are discovered in a United States landfill every year. Pretty slim, okay? But there's an outlier. Specifically, we're going to look towards the King George County landfill in Virginia.
Okay.
Why was it that in the early 2000s, they found hundreds of body part fragments all over the landfill?
I don't know why.
Well, they looked into it, obviously, and all of them came from the Dover mortuary.
Uh-oh.
That's right. A mortuary was just throwing fragments in the landfill.
Why was it doing that?
I don't know, but the Dover
They're
mortuary
not supposed to do that.
wasn't just a typical mortuary.
Okay.
It was the mortuary for the Dover Air Force Base.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, indeed. Yeah. So
I don't have any assumptions about what that means, just that
that's okay.
I'm concerned about what I will hear next.
That's okay. Because in the early 2000s,
Okay.
specifically between 2004 and 2008, the United States had a lot of troops out in the Middle East,
Yeah.
specifically Iraq and Afghanistan. And a lot of people died.
Yes.
And when Americans died, they were sent not specifically back to their home base, but to the base that was closest to where their family was, right?
Okay.
Well, the Dover Air Force Base in Virginia covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
So a lot of dead soldiers went back to the Dover Air Force Base. Too many for them to handle.
So they just threw them away in the trash?
So in 2011 is when this story broke huge. 274 American troops were found in the Virginia landfill.
Whoa.
Okay. Now let's dive in. What happened? Why did this happen?
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to dumping bodies in the landfill, this was not obviously authorized by the military or by the leadership. Okay. But it fucking happened. Now, the Air Force, right? The Dover Air Force Base, they had maintained that they couldn't estimate how many troops might have had their remains sent to the landfill. They just don't know. Right? It could have been a number of people.
Sure.
And the Washington Post received information from some whistleblowers
Oh, wow.
within the Air Force. Okay. And they were able to make a document about a single case, one soldier whose body came from the Middle East back to Dover mortuary, and his remains were found in the Virginia, the
Landfill.
King George County landfill.
Okay.
So this really doesn't look good
It's
because that one case
yeah.
sparked an investigation.
Yeah, it doesn't look great.
It doesn't. So under the military policies and regulations, this was not chill. Apparently, everyone was saying they had no part of it. The Pentagon denied having any part of it. They said that this was all on the Air Force Base. Everyone's pointing blame, but eventually it comes down to the people that actually fucking did it, right?
Sure.
So allegedly, what happened was soldiers' ashes were added to piles of medical waste as it was being incinerated. Then those incinerated garbage medical waste materials were then taken and dumped in the landfill.
Along with the remains of veterans.
The remains of veterans that literally died in war.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, do you go into why they did this? Like, they didn't have family to claim them?
I mean, we're going to go into their reasons why.
Okay.
They're not necessarily reasons why, though.
Good reasons, you mean?
Oh, nothing is a good reason in here.
Oh, man.
So, the Air Force and Pentagon had determined that a lot more remains must have ended up in this landfill, but they weren't positive, as more than 6,300 troops' remains passed through the mortuary from 2001 to when this investigation started in 2009. And because of that number, someone in the high-ups, let's see, this is high up in the Pentagon, said that it would require a massive effort and time to recall records and research individually. They would have to pull up records for each individual corpse that they dealt with.
Right.
It would take so much time. Apparently, they didn't see it worth it, so they didn't do it.
Do you know who it was exactly who reported that remains were in the landfill?
The Washington Post.
Oh, no. I just mean who first noticed and then spread the word.
So, whistleblowers within the Dover Air Force Base,
They're the ones who had to say something?
they reported that they sent multiple remains to the King George County landfill.
I just thought you were saying like they confirmed it or like that was supplemental.
Nope.
Like it wasn't like someone in the landfill who works there saw bones
Nope.
and said something. No one at the actual mortuary said something.
Yes, it was soldiers working in the mortuary.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
They were the whistleblowers,
Okay.
which means they had orders to do so.
Oh,
Now, a representative in Congress pressed the Pentagon for answers, saying that people's husbands and children and brothers were killed in Iraq and their bodies were, dumped in a landfill. And they had accused the Air Force and the Defense Department of hiding the truth. Okay. Now, obviously, the Air Force didn't take kindly to this. And Holt, this congressman, fucking pressed, said that we spent millions, tens of millions to find any trace of soldiers killed, and they're concerned about a massive effort to go back and pull out the files and find out how many soldiers were disrespected this way. He's pissed off with the Air Force, right? As he absolutely should be, and as every other American should be, because what the fuck?
yeah.
He says that they just didn't want to ask questions or look very hard into this at all because it would make them look bad.
Wow.
Senior Air Force leaders said that there was no intent to deceive. He said, quote, absolutely not. That was Lieutenant General Daryl D. Jones
Whoa.
of the Air Force. He was the Deputy Chief of Staff. And he said, absolutely not. That's not why we're doing this. Anyway, the week after, the Washington Post pressed for information that was contained in the Dover Mortuary's electronic database. Mm-hmm. Like I said, Jessica, they had whistleblowers that were willing to shit on everything to get this information out, and they did. It showed that 976 fragments from 274 military personnel were cremated, incinerated, and taken to the landfill between 2004 and 2008. They had records of it.
But why?
They recorded that said person's records were incinerated and taken to a landfill.
Okay.
So it's not in this article, but I'd read another article. It wasn't necessarily an entire corpse.
Yeah.
That they had said one body came in. It was a soldier who was killed after an IED exploded.
Sure.
And his arm had broken in a way.
Okay.
And had bent in a way. And then the heat was so strong that it fused the bones together.
Okay.
And so it created a corpse that was just unviewable. So they had to cut off the arm to then make the corpse viewable.
Sure.
In a casket.
Yeah.
But then what do you do with the arm?
I don't know.
Oh, easy. You cremate it, you dump it in the trash, and you send it to the landfill.
You wouldn't consult with the families?
Jessica.
You wouldn't just say, hey, we can dispose of it on our own, or we can put it in the foot part of the casket where you can't see his body.
Jessica, the landfill's right there.
Ugh.
Come on. What are you going to do, you know?
I just feel like that is not
disgusting.
a difficult thing to decide on. I just feel like
that's not the most disgusting part.
Oh man.
We're going to keep diving. An additional group of 1,762 unidentified remains were collected from the battlefield and were disposed of in the same manner. Meaning
you mean
they found body parts
in the Middle East.
In the Middle East, in the battlefield, they found body parts, gathered them up, added them to a pile, flew them back to Dover Memorial to maybe they can get to their families or whatever. They didn't. They just burned them all and threw them in the trash.
Well, I don't know. Devil's advocate, how do you identify those?
Some of them they couldn't, which is fair.
Well, that's what I mean.
But do you think we should still just throw them in a landfill?
What do you do? That's my argument. What is the alternative?
Well, they do have a different alternative now. But before that happened, I mean, do you think throwing the bodies of these people into landfills was the way to go?
I'm not trying to say I understand what the way to go is all I'm saying. If someone is in an explosion and a toe goes here and a finger goes there and you find the remains, what are you supposed to do with that?
Well, the total number of incinerated fragments that were dumped in the landfill exceeded 2,700. Okay. Now, a separate federal investigation of the mortuary began, and this is when the whistleblowers really came into effect. They had pointed out gross mismanagement in the leadership of the Air Force, whoever was overseeing the mortuary. Mm-hmm. They had said they had documented how body parts recovered from bomb blasts stacked up in the morgue's coolers.
Yikes.
They didn't even try to identify.
How could they?
They threw them in a cooler where these limbs would sit in this cooler for months, some years.
That's so sad.
Before eventually they were just disposed of and thrown in a landfill.
It sounds like that's just war, man.
It's not, because no other mortuary in the United States did this. It was the Dover Air Force mortuary.
Are you really sure about that?
Maybe, maybe not.
Because I don't know, man. I don't know that it's just them.
Well, the reason why this investigation only began in the late 2000s, early 2010s.
Okay.
Apparently, President George H.W. Bush, back in 1991, had banned basically covered up for what military bases did with bodies.
Okay.
He essentially signed a thing or something that made it banned. No one could look into it. That was before the first Gulf War. And in April 2009, Obama had lifted the ban. No, why are we hiding what we're doing with bodies? There was a reason. Because places
because he didn't
Dover
want to
Air
say
Force.
to the public that he was throwing the unidentified parts into the trash.
I think many people knew.
The military didn't have the budget to identify the DNA of every single fragment of people's bodies in order to identify them and send them to the proper place.
But you can't just cremate them and add them to like a big pile of cremated soldiers and say like, I don't know, the Soldier Limb Memorial or something.
That sounds nicer, but
right?
I don't know. I don't know
add
how,
it to a fat pile.
I don't know how all that works.
Maybe tamp it down every now and then so you can add more.
I don't want to assume people wanted to disrespect the body parts of people who died for our country, at least in intention. But yeah, so I won't make that assumption. But it definitely sounds nicer if they had like a, hey, this is our collection of definitely veteran fragments, body fragments, veteran remains, unidentified. I feel like there's entire cemeteries of people, of graves.
We have a giant memorial
unidentified graves.
Tomb of the Unknown Soldier or Unnamed Soldier, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big deal.
Yes.
You know? Now, by the way, this wasn't just body parts. This was also unclaimed bodies.
Yeah.
So any soldier that came back and they said, hey, we reached out to next of kin and they haven't gotten back to us 6, 7, 8 months later.
Oh, my heart.
Let's just burn the body and throw it in the landfill.
Oh.
This is very bad.
It's terrible.
So the Air Force had said that they don't know when landfill disposals began. Okay. But their first record of it was February of 2004. Now, their database began in 2003. That's when they switched from paper to computer. Mm-hmm. So the database really started then. So it's not surprising that they wouldn't have record of it until 2004.
Yeah.
Anyway, they found that, this is CBS News, found that the widow of Sergeant First Class Scott Smith had found out that 2 years later that part of her husband's body was incinerated and disposed of with medical waste in the landfill. She was not very happy to hear this.
No.
To hear this news. Now, the Air Force, wanted to save face. They said, hey, it's fine. We've ended this practice. We don't do this since 2008. We don't do it anymore. But, they still did it for recorded 5 years now.
Uh-huh.
Not great. By the way, the military now has a protocol for this. I guess they didn't before, but now they do. They said that they now, with any unclaimed or unidentified body parts or bodies, they cremate them and they bury the ashes at sea, which is kind of sort of the same thing, but it sounds nicer,
Yes.
That's a little more respectful than just throwing them with garbage.
I know. It makes me think that maybe this isn't so black and white. Maybe there is a lot of like red tape and budget issues and stuff that requires a lot of like finesse.
Maybe.
That will take years to actually establish. And I don't want to think terrible things of people doing hard jobs, but it would be a lot nicer if there were a different place to take them.
Well, the Air Force also claimed no blame in this.
Okay.
They claimed no guilt in what they did. They said that they did not need to inform relatives of troops whose remains ended up in the landfill because those people had already signed forms stipulating that they did not wish to be notified of additional remains being identified, meaning they received half of the corpse and signed a form saying, yeah, don't notify me when you find the other half.
Isn't that understandable?
Sure. But do you expect that other half to be in a landfill?
It's not really an argument.
It's very disrespectful.
I mean,
that is you are literally burying troops' corpses with garbage.
But that's just it. Like, I don't know, the devil's advocate in me wants to tell you, like, okay, let's say a veteran, he dies.
Right.
Donates his organs. But, like, I don't know, 3 of them aren't viable. What happens to that medical waste? He did serve.
I don't know that a veteran could be an organ donor.
Let's just say.
Pretty sure our government just slabs their body up with all sorts of toxic shit.
Maybe. But let's just say, okay, like, you see what I mean? Like, let's say a veteran does die from, like, more long-term wounds. Doesn't die at war, but dies eventually after 20 years from wounds he suffered in war. Dies an early death because of those injuries. And in his preparation and stuff like that, what happens to his medical waste? Like when they do, like morticians, when they embalm bodies, they're removing all the organs. What do you think they do with those?
They probably burn them.
What do they think? What do you think they do with the ashes if it's not a cremation?
I don't know.
That's what I mean.
Perhaps they add the ashes into like the bottom of the casket.
I don't know.
If they're embalming the corpse. Now, also, these weren't just old men that died after serving in the military many years before. These were people, young men, who were in Afghanistan and were killed, and then their body parts were essentially thrown into a landfill.
Oh, well, I don't necessarily place value on one over the other. I think it's more tragic when someone is young, but that's still a valuable life to me.
But also,
if
dying
they're
in
older.
war versus dying of old age is very different.
I'm not talking about old age either. I don't know that I'm as upset as you thought I would be.
I thought you'd be very upset. Now, obviously, the people that worked for the landfill were disgusted. And they said that, essentially, I'm not going to read the whole quote. It's way too long. But essentially, like, they weren't down with this. They would have never been down with this. They didn't know that they were receiving bodies of soldiers within their medical waste landfill or whatever. Back to Sergeant First Class Scott Smith. He was a member of a bomb disposal unit over in the Middle East, was killed in July of 2006. And in 2007, his wife began asking the military what happened to his remains that were identified after they had a funeral for him. And after 4 years of letters, phone calls, and requests, she received a letter from the mortuary in April. This is 2011 now, stating that the military cremated and incinerated his remains and disposed them in the King George County landfill. They were just straight open about it. Your husband's remains are in a landfill.
Yikes.
Yeah. So she wasn't down with this.
No.
And she's very fortunate that there were whistleblowers that came forward and helped her case or whatever, because this is the case that made it to the Washington Post. Eventually, we get into a little more information as to how this was able to take place. But when it comes down to it, it was essentially a few dudes. 2, to be exact. One, basically the one who was in charge, was Colonel Robert Edmondson. Essentially, I don't think he personally gave the order, but he was responsible for giving the order to just send the remains to a landfill. Mm-hmm. And he needed to be punished, and the Air Force also agreed that he needed to be punished.
Yeah.
So they fined him $7,000, and they reprimanded him and said that he would not receive further command assignments.
So, bad.
Bad. They slapped that wrist really sharply, left a little sting on it.
Ouch. $7,000.
Next was Trevor Dean, who was the civilian deputy at Dover. Essentially, he was the one who probably gave the order.
Yeah.
He received 20 days without pay for his role.
Ouch.
Ooh.
Owie.
This stings.
Yeah.
Then we have the last one that was punished was Quentin Keel. Now, he wasn't necessarily involved with the bodies being sent to a landfill, but he did threaten the whistleblowers. And so he was to be punished.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, he resigned before any action could be taken against him. So no harm, no foul.
Those are absolutely not things that should have been kept secret. So if you were trying to keep them secret, yeah, you should be getting some sort of reprimand for that.
Absolutely. I mean, look, I don't think they need to go to prison for the rest of their life.
I don't know about that, but people should know what is happening to the remains of their loved ones.
Perhaps dishonorable discharges.
Maybe.
Perhaps some break time, maybe.
Something. Yeah.
They didn't receive anything. They are all still working. They received some pay cuts and were moved to non-supervisory jobs.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't want to assume terrible things of people I've never met, especially in such a delicate situation, which I know nothing about, but that doesn't sound so great to me.
No, it doesn't. Anyway, by the time this article was posted, this is, again, back in 2011, they all still have jobs. They're still working for the Air Force.
Yeah.
Really nothing came of it. And it was all hush-hush. By the way, their punishments, I read glintings of in actual articles, but could not find anything that even named them. Could not find their names anywhere. You want to know where I found their names?
Where?
I found some Marine Corps blog who fucking named them as to who they were.
Out of rage. That's a Marine.
He was pissed.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just Air Force bodies that were sent there. It was any military personnel that died in combat or at war that lived in that general area. You know, salute that.
Well, that was terrible. That was disrespectful.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Dang. That's rough.
I thought you'd be more pissed.
No, I think that kind of thing, it's very easy to hear that and think it's black and white. It's people not caring or being very callous. But I think it's more complicated. I think that there's more going on there.
See, I just don't think so. Because they could have just taken the ashes and dumped them at sea once a month. You know?
I don't know.
That feels more respectable. Respectful.
From my experience with the military, which has not been direct because Terry was active military and I wasn't, things that should be simple and fairly easy to do don't get done simply or easily. And from what I've known, it's not necessarily the fault of the people trying to get them done.
But it could be as simple as, hey, the mortuary is closed every fourth Sunday of the month because that's the day that we take all these remains and dump them in the ocean and do a 10-minute ceremony or something.
Yeah.
You know, they could have easily done that. But even easier was sneakily adding these ashes to incinerated medical waste and then dumping them. They went out of their way to do that. That was, we're going to incinerate our medical waste. Let's just scoop some shovels of ashes in there and dump them all at the same time.
Yeah.
They knew they were doing some shady shit.
Yeah.
And they did it anyway.
I don't like the sound of it, but I do stay where I stand.
That's fine.
I stood on all that.
That's fine. Jessica hates America and she hates our troops. You heard it here first. Email her, jess@threeshotsin.com. You call her a dirty anti-American bitch.
I don't hate America. Okay.
You hate America, apparently. No, you said it. You essentially said it.
I did not.
You said the words. You said the words. Didn't you? Didn't
say
you?
It. No.
Didn't you? You did.
No, I didn't. Didn't you? I didn't say it.
You anti-patriot. Disgust me. You disgust me.
Wow. You know what, Jacob? Maybe we should just go on break.
I think we should.
I think it's a good time.
I think it's a great time.
I definitely like a break from all of that going on over there.
You know what?
From the nasally sounds going on from the other side of the table.
Being an actual patriot. I say that it is okay that we go on break right now.
Yeah, me as a free citizen of the United States.
As an anti-patriot who hates our troops and
yeah.
wants them all to die and have their bodies end up in dirty little landfills. No, I get it. It's fine. We'll go on break now. Jess.
Yeah.
Jerry. He's gone.
Jerry Springer.
Jerry Springer.
Yeah. Excuse me. I have the hiccups. I don't mean to disrespect the dead.
You're besmirching his name. You're calling him Jerry.
I'm sorry, Jerry. I don't mean to call you that.
Give him his chant.
What?
Jerry.
Jerry. Jerry. Jerry. You will be missed by a lot of people, I'm sure. Not necessarily by me.
You're an idiot.
I just have the hiccups.
So I found this thing that was saying like unanswerable paradoxes, right?
Okay.
And the top one was the train car paradox or whatever the fuck they called it.
Okay.
So you're on a train and it's driving, right? Like trains do.
Yeah.
And it's about to run over 5 people that are tied to the tracks, or you can pull the lever and it will go to a different track where there's one person tied down on the track and you will run over them and kill them, obviously. And it was like, what do you do? Right? And it said it was unanswerable. And now this has come up. Okay. This paradox is pretty well fucking known. It's like the trolley paradox, whatever the fuck. Oh my God.
I'm really sorry.
Anyway, it's like the trolley paradox, right? It comes up all the time. And it pains me when I hear people not knowing what they would do.
In the trolley paradox?
Yeah. Isn't it fucking plain as fucking day?
Yeah.
What you should do?
That one's
and
always
would do?
been pretty simple to me.
That didn't make sense to me at all.
Obviously, you kill 1 over 5.
Absolutely. Right?
Yeah.
Now, some people add like variables to it, like the one person is your spouse, right? Mm-hmm. In which case, I would just let it run over these 5 people. Because fuck them, I care about my spouse more than I care about these 5 people.
Right.
But if I don't know any of them, then sure, I'm going to kill the one person, not the 5, right? That whole thing blew my mind, and it made me, like, every time I hear the argument come up, especially when I'm at work, I'm like, dude, we go fucking Tokyo drift on those bastards. I take all 6 out at the same time.
Including your
now,
wife.
Yeah, now no one is spared.
Not even your wife is spared.
No, fuck her. We take all of them out, and then there is no guilt now, right?
Right.
Because I didn't save one or save some others. I just killed them all.
It's just one of those paradoxes that's really stupid. People get stuck on for some reason. I don't really understand why.
Because they're retarded. Oh, if I pull the lever, then that means that I killed that person. No, bitch, it means you saved those 5. Fuck that one. Who cares about them?
At least you saved 4 lives.
You saved 5 and you killed one.
That's what I mean. Like,
Rather
if you
than
were
sitting
worried,
there-
if you were concerned about taking a life, you took 4 less by pulling that lever, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, if you just sat there with your thumb up your ass thinking, oh, I'm not a murderer. That's your train running over these fucking corpses.
Because you did nothing.
Because you did nothing and you let 5 people die. Mm-hmm. Disgusting. Fuck you.
Awful.
If you hear this paradox and you're all like, oh, I don't know what I do. That's a tough decision. Fuck you. I hate you. You're just like a fundamentalist fucking Mormon.
Rubbish.
Gosh, loads of rubbish.
Rubbish is, it means trash, pretty sure.
It means trash, garbage, useless, disgusting,
Waste.
Jess.
Nope, it doesn't mean me. It just means things that people don't want that they throw away because they have no need for them.
Like used Q-tips or tissues or styrofoam cups after you've already poured your apple juice in them.
You've got the right idea.
Or Jess.
Nope, not me, though. That's the wrong idea. You were good up until you said that. Yeah.
There are a lot of products that I would throw away that I would consider rubbish.
Yeah. I would throw a lot of them away, too. You know whose products I would never throw away?
Whose?
Our sponsors. That's right. Tilted Tinker, Woodcraft, and Wizardry. We'd like to thank Tilted Tinker, Woodcraft, and Wizardry. They are a company that makes woodcraft products.
Like plaques with all sorts of hilarious sayings and coasters with sarcastic twists.
All of that dry humor is mixed in with Dungeons and Dragons accessories like dice towers, dice dungeons, and DM screens.
Everything is made here in the USA.
Yes, a family-owned business. They use American wood in American hands.
Nice.
They personally create all of their merchandise.
Yes, they are close friends of ours, but that's the most that we'll say. It could be anyone, but they're fantastic.
They are fantastic, and it really could be anyone at all. We own many of their products.
That's true. All of them are of great quality.
The greatest. You can visit their website at tiltedtinker.com, reach out to them at info@tiltedtinker.com. They are Tilted Tinker on all their social medias.
That's Tilted, Tinker. You should go and buy something from their website because they're awesome.
And they love us, just like we love you.
What do you think Chris Angel's up to?
Chris Angel?
Yeah.
Probably.
You think he's still doing magic? Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
You think he's still doing magic up in Vegas?
Yeah, I do. Probably.
Oh my God. You still have the fucking hiccups. Jessica,
What?
I want you to think right
Okay.
now.
All right.
Really,
Are
really
you about
think.
to do some Chris Angel mind magic on me?
Listen, I saw this video that said that hiccups are a natural reflex because we used to be fish back in the day. Okay? And we have morphed from fish to humans.
Right.
Okay. So just think and tell yourself, I am not a fish.
Calm down, Jesse. You're not a fish. You don't have to hiccup.
You're not a fish.
You're a human being.
You can breathe oxygen. Believe it, Jessica. Believe that you're not convinced.
Okay.
A part of you still thinks you're a fish, and you're not, Jessica. You are a horse. Horses don't need water.
I'm not a horse.
They don't need water
I'm a
to breathe,
human
Jessica.
being.
They need oxygen.
I am not a horse. This isn't working.
Let's breathe some oxygen as non-fish. Okay?
Together?
As mammals, let's breathe. Ready? Ready?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not a fish. 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 I'm not a fish.
I'm not a fish. This is so funny. I'm not a fish. 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 It worked.
It worked because you're not a fish.
I am a fish.
You are. You're a stupid fish. Stupid, dumb fish.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm a fish.
So back when it started, literally day one, I was one of the first few thousand people let in. Was Truth Social. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I began immediately, immediately, just shit posting. And by shit posting, I mean posting dumb ass shit that makes no sense.
Yeah.
And just throwing it out there and seeing what happens. Haven't showered in 72 hours and my taint really shows or something, right? Doesn't really make sense.
Sure.
Kind of retarded, maybe a little funny. Who cares?
Yep.
So I just did that constantly.
Okay.
But then one day I did something different. Something was happening in the world and I posted an article, but I commented, right? So that you can see it, right? My truth showed my quote.
Your social truth?
My truth showed my quote. And then underneath it was an article. And in the quote, I put a direct quote from the book of Revelations in the Bible.
Okay.
And I have found my niche. So what I do now is every once in a while, I go through book of Revelations quotes and I find them because they're all fucking fire and brimstone and the world's going to burn and destroy and blah, blah, blah.
Everyone's going to
die.
Torment, despair, all that.
And I take quotes from Revelations and I attach them to articles that are happening in the world. Jessica, I have gained a very large following on Truth Social because I really think people are thinking that I'm preaching the truth.
They think you're a Bible thumper is what they think.
What's the word? Prophet.
Of truth.
They think I'm a fucking prophet and I will not share what my fucking handle is because I don't want anyone ousting me as being a false prophet. I want these truthers to believe that I am a prophet.
To continue revering you.
Yeah. Because then one day I'll just start saying my own shit. Oh my God, am I starting a cult? Do you think all cults start out just with someone fucking with other people?
I think some of them do. I think that has to have happened at least once by now.
Just I think if I really put effort into this, I could create a solid cult, 30 to 50 members, of devout cult followers.
Yeah, me too. What are you going to do with your newfound power?
I don't know. It's kind of exciting, isn't it? Makes my nipples hard.
Wow.
I know.
That's a lot of excitement.
I've never had this much power before. I have their lives in my hand.
Good luck.
It's a truth cult. We only talk about truths.
We be truth in it.
Yeah.
Up in here.
Hey, you are the truthiest of the women. Come, spread your truth upon my cock.
Allow me to enter and penetrate your truth.
And we're back from the break, moving on to the second wheel spin. Jessica, please.
I will.
I'm not reading this.
Why?
Because it was your stupid fucking wheel spin.
I think I know what it is.
What is it, Jess?
Rubbish or scrunch?
That doesn't even make sense.
Yes, it does.
Doesn't make sense.
It's like smash or pass.
The British don't scrunch a bitch. You don't say, "Oh, mean that bitch just scrunched."
They're about to.
You don't say that.
They're going to say it.
Okay, it's British smash or pass, right?
It's British smash or pass.
Okay, Helena Bonham Carter.
Scrunch.
You're gonna, scrunch her.
I'm all scruncher.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. The main actor in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. The ginger with the flat mouth.
Rubbish.
Okay.
By the way, I would also scrunch Helena Bonham Carter. Absolutely.
I'd scrunch the flat mouth.
Would
ginger.
you?
Yeah, I would.
I don't know. Something about him just like looks racist, I want to say. I don't know.
Kind of sick also.
He's a little
Very
sickly.
pale.
He's a little sickly.
Yeah, but I'm okay with it.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Rubbish.
At his peak.
Rubbish.
Even at his peak?
Are you deciding if it's too gay to say scrunch?
I don't think I'd scrunch either.
Why? Just because you're a man?
Because I feel like I wouldn't want to scrunch a man who is manlier than me.
Because you'd get scrunched?
Yeah, I don't want to get I don't want to get scrunched.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
While I feel like I could take Eddie Redmayne, who was who you were talking about. I still don't think I'd scrunch.
What's the name of that actress? I like her a lot. She played the kind of androgynous angel in Constantine. She was also
Tilda Swinton. Tilda Swinton.
Rubbish or
you know
scrunch?
What? Rubbish, because I feel like she's also too masculine for me.
I'm scrunching.
I don't think so. I think she'd bend me over.
I think I'd dominate her, honestly.
You wouldn't dominate. She would
no,
know.
I would.
Tilda fucks.
No. It's not like I would force it on her. Like it would be unwelcome. She would enjoy it.
Plus, I feel like she's so tall and lanky. Mm-hmm. You know, like just can't do it.
I could.
Just can't do it.
She'd have a great time. Probably.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Scrunch.
You'd scrunch?
I'd scrunch all up on him.
I feel like I'd scrunch with Jordan.
Really?
Yeah, I think I could take him for sure.
You did play Robin. He's definitely not more masculine than you.
No, I could take him.
Yeah. He did play the young version of Bruce Willis, though, in Looper.
True, but he had a lot of CGI on his face, and it didn't look like Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
That's true. He had to pretend to be someone more masculine.
He did, and he alone couldn't do it, so they had to CGI his face.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Scrunch.
Fuck, you'd scrunch him? Mm-hmm. In what character?
Ooh.
Rodolfo Pirelli.
Yes. Yeah. But without the Italian disguise.
No, back when he's Cockney? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, that's rubbish for me, personally.
Ooh, I'd scrunch it.
Okay.
I'd get all scrunch in it. I'd scrunch myself up inside it. How about
Present day Courtney Cox?
rubbish for me?
While I fully understand, I'd still scrunch it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just reminiscing over those first 4 seasons of Friends, Monica.
Ooh, scrunch.
She was perky as shit.
But you said modern day.
I didn't say modern day. I said I'd be reminiscing in the bed.
That's rubbish for me.
Okay.
Okay. What's his name? Damn. I'm so bad at names. Tom Hardy? He played
Bane. He was in
Bane.
Inception.
Yeah. Okay.
That's Tom Hardy.
I kept wanting to call him Ed Hardy.
Nope.
I know it's wrong. I knew it was.
Tom Hardy.
Scrunch for me.
You know what? Scrunch. I also feel like I could still take him, you know? I think his strength is a facade.
He's very masculine, but he has this like undercurrent of.
He was in a movie where he played 2 roles as twins. Both were like mobsters.
Okay.
One was straight, one was gay.
Okay.
And the gay one was fucking terrifying. But I feel like I could take him. You know what I mean?
I think you're wrong.
We'll find out.
I think he would surprise you, but I think you'd have a good time.
See, I don't think so. I think what's his name would surprise me. He played the sparkly vampire.
Oh, Robert Pattinson.
I think Robert Pattinson looks weak, but I think he could fold me over so quickly.
Yeah, I completely disagree. I actually
No?
think I would fold him.
You think you would fold him?
Yeah.
You would fuck.
He just has it's not necessarily that he's like so weak that that's what would happen without his like wanting it to necessarily. I think he's the kind of dude that wants to be folded.
Oh, interesting. Well, if that were the case, it's still rubbish.
It's so I'd scrunch.
Okay.
But more, it's a curiosity scrunch for me.
Okay. We got one more each.
Okay.
Then we're moving on.
All right. Okay. I want to think of someone you wouldn't normally. I want to think of a wild card scrunch or rubbish or scrunch. Rubbish or scrunch. Hold on. Do you have someone in mind?
I'm still thinking. I'm trying to also think of like a wild card.
Okay.
Someone who wouldn't typically come up in these conversations.
Modern day, muscular, CrossFit enthusiastic, Pink.
Ugh. Rubbish.
Rubbish?
I've always thought Pink was unattractive.
She is very masculine. That's true. I do think she's super attractive, though. I would still rubbish. It wouldn't be a scrunch for me, but that's not a like. It's just it is outside the threshold of my preference. That's all.
Present day Eminem, and when I say present day, I mean he doesn't beat his woman anymore.
I don't know.
Or like verbally berate her.
I don't really follow him. I don't really know what's going on with him or what he looks like. Or
he looks the same.
I don't know. Probably rubbish. Honestly.
Yeah, definitely rubbish. I thought that was a wild card, though. Who knows? Maybe you would have said scrunch.
Maybe think of someone.
Fuck you for making me say scrunch so many times.
You liked it.
Retarded. I hate this.
You liked it. What about someone who's not a celebrity? Like not in the movies?
Big Ed.
Rubbish.
Easily rubbish.
Okay. How about, what season of Alone are you on?
2, I think.
Okay.
But I'm not that interested.
Yeah. So, fair warning, season 3 is not better, but there is someone in it that I need you to see. I need you to know how he is so that you and I can hate on him together.
Should I Google him? Are you telling me?
No, you don't have to do that. It'd probably be better if you watched the show. And you will. You'll watch the season and you won't enjoy it just like me and Terry didn't, but you'll finish the whole thing.
I don't know that I will.
I mean, maybe not.
I haven't finished either of the other 2. I get to the point where there's like 2 or 3 of them left and I just lose interest.
Really?
Every time.
I love the ending.
Nope.
Because I love being able to like psychologically evaluate them and try to figure out who's actually going to last. I like doing that.
No. Pass.
Fun for me. Anyway, there's this guy in season 3, Patagonia, that's in Argentina. And his name is Dave. It's a hard rubbish for me.
Like an easy one?
Without even a thought, it's a rubbish for me.
But you thought maybe I would scrunch? Is that why you're saying it?
No, I just wanted to hear your opinions on him.
No.
Just so that we could share in it. Because I feel like your opinion will be the same as mine.
Okay. Here's a wild card. Robert Downey Jr.
Scrunch.
Oh, rubbish.
Even modern day. Gray hair, no facial hair, buzzed head.
Buzzed head?
Scrunching it.
The fuck?
I'm getting all up on it.
What, so he looks like fucking...
Have you not seen him?
He looks like fucking Kevin Spacey in fucking 7.
I don't remember what Kevin Spacey looked like in 7, so I don't know. But he looks very different. He stopped dyeing his hair. He shaved off his facial hair and his hair is buzzed now. And he kind of looks like Bruce Willis if he were wrinklier. Although maybe I'm wrong. I haven't seen Bruce Willis in a while, so maybe
That's because Bruce Willis is dying.
What?
Oh my God, you haven't heard about that?
No.
Oh no, straight up, like they don't think he's gonna make it through the year.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, he has some sort of like early onset yet exceptionally quick moving, like Alzheimer's or dementia.
Oh, that's terrible.
Whichever one like eats your brain away.
I'm pretty sure it's Alzheimer's.
He has that then.
Oh.
And like he was having, it was all over social media and like the news that
I haven't been on social media in a while.
His family gathered to be what would be his last Christmas.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, he's not gonna make it.
Sad.
Even if he physically makes it, his brain won't.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Really sad. Chris Hemsworth also early onset Alzheimer's.
No way.
Yeah, he said he's gonna give up acting because he wants to spend time with friends and family because like
he's going.
His brain is gonna be gone soon.
What the hell's that about?
I don't fucking know.
Dang.
I know. Hits you out of nowhere.
Yeah. That's so sad. Poor guys. Poor everyone. I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter if they're a celebrity, anyone who goes through that. Anyway, on a lighter note.
Is it lighter?
No, but let's get to my stories, which are not lighter, but they are different. So let's change the subject.
So we're talking about rubbish.
Yes. Yeah. And when I thought of rubbish, I, of course, thought of the trash, the garbage. And then I thought...
Like you and your husband and your lifestyle?
I don't know what you mean.
You trash. Garbage.
No, I didn't think of that.
A waste.
No, I didn't think of that at all. We're very happy.
Sure.
Indeed.
No, of course.
Yes. Honestly, for a little bit, I thought about people who have huge noses who are co-hosts on podcasts and stuff. Like, what is it like to have to be on camera with such a big nose? And then I thought, you know what? There's probably not a lot of research on that. I should probably just drop it.
Yeah, there's probably no research on it.
Just there was a little actually, but not a lot, you know. So I thought, no, I'll just pass it. And I decided to talk about something else. And we're just going to dive right into it. Are you ready?
Yeah, no, hit me.
All right. We begin with police officers in Belmont. They get a report of a dead body at a waste transfer station in Belmont, New Hampshire. This is on September 9th in 2021.
Okay.
They find the body of Jessica Lervais. She's 28, or was, among the contents of a disposal truck. Uh-oh.
Disposal truck?
A disposal truck. So 12 days later, after her body was discovered, the body of Matthew Schofield, who was 29, was found at a solid waste facility in Lewiston, Maine. And it's important to note that the facility he was discovered at was a facility at which waste would continue onto for processing from the Belmont transfer facility, which is where Jessica Lervais was discovered.
So the Belmont facility was a middleman.
It would seem so. Yeah, that they have that in common.
Okay.
So police investigating, evaluating, they conclude that Lervais died as a result of crush injuries.
Oof.
Yikes. Her death had been ruled accidental. Her crush injuries due to a trash compactor that she had likely fallen into while she was intoxicated or found herself inside of on accident. And she had been intoxicated by fentanyl at the time.
Like on accident, or like she bought cocaine and it was like super laced?
She probably did the fentanyl. She probably used that. And then based off of what I read, she and Matthew Schofield, because the two of them had a prior romantic relationship.
Uh-oh, they were connected?
Yes.
Whoa.
Had decided, were probably homeless and had decided to take shelter inside of a dumpster on the exact wrong night. To hide in a dumpster from the rain and get really high.
Because the trash cans picked you up, put you inside, and gave you the good old squeeze.
Yes, they did.
Ugh.
Rough.
That's gross.
Schofield, Matthew Schofield's death had also been ruled accidental, obviously, because they were, and it's difficult for them to put this together. They don't know for sure, but to the best of their ability, it really seemed like the two of them had gotten high together, whether on the same stuff or different stuff. It didn't seem like Matthew Schofield was high on the exact same thing, but he was high on something. And they both ended up crushed in some kind of trash compactor. So,
yikes.
It had rained before they were discovered. Pretty sure they took shelter, like I said, in a trash can, dumpster, recycling bin, something like that. And they got crushed on the way to the trash facility. Oops.
That's unfortunate.
Terrible. Next up, authorities respond to investigate a report of a missing person. They're called to an apartment complex in Palatine, Illinois. This is 2013.
Okay.
So they show up and this lady comes up and she tells them that she can't find her husband.
Okay.
She talked to him last on the phone as she was leaving work. She let him know she was going to go out to dinner with friends or drinks or something. She gets home like 4.5 hours after that. And she says she cannot find him.
Okay.
And that's a quote. I assume that means she couldn't connect with him on like her phone as well. Like he wasn't answering his phone. She wasn't able to reach out to him, whatever. And it had been long enough that the police took her report seriously. So the police start to ask around the apartment complex. A neighbor says that they saw her husband about 6:30 p.m. And he had been asking for a key to the trash room, to the lower level that was inside the lower level parking garage. He told his neighbor that he'd lost his phone. So after talking with his wife, perhaps he had taken out his trash, dropped it into the trash chute. And he claims that he may have lost his phone as he took out the trash. that his phone may now be in the like garbage dumpster in the garage somewhere.
So they had like a trash chute, you think? Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah. So the officers, hearing this, decide to go down to the lower level of the garage, explore the trash room, the garbage room. They notice a ladder propped up alongside the trash compactor.
What? Oh, no.
Oops.
He thought he dropped his phone in.
It's possible
And
what
so
he thought was
climbed in
just
to get his phone.
It's possible what he thought was just a dumpster was actually a
Have
trash
you ever
compactor.
seen a trash compactor, though?
I've never have.
They're very distinguishable
I really wouldn't know.
from a dumpster.
Either way, he got a ladder and climbed inside it. And inside, of course, they found her husband's body. Obvious signs of being super squished by the trash compactor.
Yeah.
And I do have one photo for reference.
Oh, whip it out.
It's not him, but it is someone else.
Okay.
Stuck in not a trash compactor, but a baler, which has a similar purpose. It's fucking rough. Are you sure?
Yeah.
1 second. Sorry.
Okay.
Reddit really wants to make sure that we're over the age of 18.
I bet it does.
It super does. Can you figure this out? It's not... I'm just trying to like minimize to get to there's a little button down here that says, yes, I'm 18. And I can't get to it. I don't understand. Ooh, you figured it out.
Oh my God.
He's basically just a torso.
You didn't tell me this on iBletch.
It is, by the way.
Oh my God. His scalp is open.
Yep. Exploded.
You can see his brains.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Rough stuff. And patrons, if you are interested in seeing the exact photo we're looking at, just for the educational purpose of it, you know,
Of course.
as to what could possibly happen to a human body inside of a trash compactor or a baler, I've got just the picture for you, and I will be putting that on our Patreon, so you can take a look at it. This exact one. It's rough stuff, and it is very gory, so proceed with caution. I'll have you know, by the way, a lot of people in the comments of this particular photo, what we're seeing, by the way, is a young man seems to be in pretty good shape, or at least he was. He's basically squished from the hips down. Both arms completely bent in strange angles and unrecognizable, and his head seems to have exploded from the top.
It looks like it blossomed like a flower.
It's wide open. People in the comments after saying this basically said that a lot of people showed up who actually have experience with balers this size. And they said in order to actually be in there when something is going on, someone would have had to set you up for it.
Was it murder?
They believe this person was murdered.
Whoa.
Because he's so far inside it. And that's not something that typically happens just,
Yeah, I would imagine.
Oopsie.
I'd imagine you lose a finger, maybe an arm. Mm-hmm. Damn.
Rough. So with that reference, we move on to my very last story.
Okay.
Laura Prochodko. She's 48, or was. She celebrated her birthday in Paris and Ibiza with friends in 2018, so she's got a lot of money.
Sure.
A month after her birthday, her 48th, she's found at the bottom of the trash chute of the Zeckendorf Towers in Union Square, where she had been living.
The bottom of a trash chute.
The bottom of a trash chute. So,
Did she dive down head first, or was she murdered?
Let's see. NYPD viewed the security footage. Laura entered the building at 4:10 p.m., July 10th, 2018. She gets on the elevator by herself. Earlier that day, she'd gone to a nearby bar, watched the World Cup semifinals. She apparently really wanted France to beat Belgium, and they did.
So she celebrated.
That's exactly what she did. She got lit. In fact, her blood alcohol level at the time was 0.29.
Whoa.
She got very, very drunk.
Whoa, that's massive.
She was having an incredible time. Police said that she appeared to be drunk and stumbling in the surveillance footage. The doorman said that she seemed to be very happy. She was passing out high fives like it was cool, having a wonderful day, it seemed like. A neighbor on the 27th floor later told police that she got home around 4:20 p.m., noticed nothing was amiss in the hallway, a hallway which had no security cameras, by the way. She walked to her own apartment. 10 minutes later, that same neighbor said she thought she heard loud noises in the hallway. She stepped out to investigate and finds only a purse.
Okay.
Later, it was shown that the purse was Laura's, or Lara's, I guess, I don't know. And it was on the floor outside the trash chute entrance. And minutes after that, 4:40, so 20 minutes after that, a maintenance worker checks the trash compactor because it had become jammed.
What kind of jammed?
He found Laura's body inside it. She had been, quote, crushed from multiple angles, unquote. She had fallen 27 stories.
Whoa. And landed in that?
And ended up in the trash compactor.
What are the fucking odds of that?
Dying by trash chute and ending up crushed not just by the fall, but then by the trash compactor on the way down. But I'm here to tell you the plot thickens.
Okay.
Lara's father, Nicholas Prochodko, believes that she was murdered. He explained that the trash chute at Zeckendorf Towers is about 15 inches by 18 inches, and it has a door that needs to open in order to put anything inside. He says that his daughter was 5'10", about 130 pounds, which he believed would make it impossible for her to just fall in or even attempt suicide.
Can you explain where his logic was?
He thinks she was too large to fit into the trash chute easily.
But he just knew that's how she wanted to die, was to dive down a trash chute?
He doesn't think she was trying to commit suicide. He believes she was not suicidal in the least. Other people say that she must have fallen in on accident because that's how drunk she was.
Okay.
He says, no, that couldn't have been the case.
Because?
Because not only is the trash chute entrance very small, but she went in feet first.
Oh, man. Yeah. That was a dumped body then, right?
That's what he thinks. So he had her body in 2019 looked at by a former New York City chief medical examiner. His name is Michael Baden.
Okay.
Whose name may or may not ring a little bell for you. He made headlines after examining Jeffrey Epstein's body and concluding that his injuries were more homicidal than suicidal in nature.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So his determination was that Lara, quote, may have died because of homicidal ligature strangulation and was then placed in the garbage chute, unquote. So crime scene photos show a pale line around her neck with blue coloration above, otherwise called cyanosis.
Okay.
He also stated that strangulation may also explain why there was very little bleeding. At least, damn. There's some dudes over here revving their engines in the middle of the night because they've got something to prove. Okay, I get it. Your balls are huge.
Your penis is massive out there.
Right. Anyway, he says that strangulation may also explain why there was very little bleeding from the lacerated viscera. Wherever it is her skin split open, there wasn't as much bleeding as would normally be expected. And the torn blood vessels noted at her autopsy after this fall, which was from obviously 27 stories. So there should have been quite a lot of blood.
Right.
He claims there was not as much as he would normally expect, which may be explained by her actually dying before she was in the trash chute. Autopsy photos show very little internal bleeding anywhere but around Laura's neck. He also mentioned to Nicholas Prochodko, Lara's dad, that her blouse had been torn away and might indicate that she'd struggled with an attacker. She also fell 27 stories, though, in a very narrow trash chute.
Yeah.
So I think it's also possible that ripped off her top, but who knows? Anyway, this doctor, medical examiner, he says, quote, I've never seen a drunk person be able to go into a narrow chute and go feet first down 27 stories. That's extremely unusual. He agreed to take a look at the autopsy report pro bono, he says, no charge. And he says, my opinion is that there's enough information that this should be investigated as a homicide.
Oh, okay.
So Nicholas, Lara's dad, he submitted Baden's findings to the New York County District Attorney's Office and the NYC Office of the Medical Examiner and requested that her case be reopened. Please don't consider this an accident, basically.
Okay.
But they responded that the medical examiner who originally looked at her found, quote, no signs of foul play, and they did not reopen her case. So he took it to court.
Okay.
It actually may be ongoing still, but he believes that her husband, David Sklatchet, hired a hitman to kill her. Both of these men, her husband and her alleged hitman, have been accused by Nicholas and taken to court. Apparently, before her death, she and David were embroiled in some sort of very bitter divorce, an expensive one.
There it is.
Right. And a custody battle over their son, from which she had recently gained custody back after a DUI. Lara's father told Dateline that she had been granted visitation rights with him and was scheduled to see her son just the day after she died. He seems to believe that the motive is as much about money as it is about anger.
Okay.
Because David's Manhattan construction business, Taucon Inc., had gone bankrupt 2 years before her death. So in the midst of their divorce, it sounds like. And his company had also been facing several lawsuits. As well, since the lawsuit between David and Lara's father, Nicholas, began, it's come out that Lara had an affair with Wayne Gattinella, the CEO of WebMD.
What?
Mm-hmm. So this suit, brought on by Nicholas, Lara's dad, charges David Sklatchet, says that he was able to track Lara through software that he installed on her laptop, spyware, in order to, I don't know, GPS locate her. I'm really not sure how that works.
So is that supposed to be you?
What?
I said, is that supposed to be you?
Me?
Like, is he able to geolocate you?
I don't understand. Me? He doesn't know me.
Never mind. Never mind.
Oh, got it. Okay. Anyway, in early 2018, John Doe, which is the only way he's identified in court documents, that's the alleged hitman, visited the Zeckendorf Towers and another nearby building where Lara had an apartment in just the days before she died.
Okay.
Pretty suspicious. Here is allegedly, and this is from Reddit. A lot of people got really on fire about this. This is apparently the trash chute. Not the trash chute, but the kind of trash chute that was in her building.
That's exactly what I pictured.
It's very small. It's a lot smaller than you think.
And to go, I mean, like, I don't know. Feet first is better than head first in that.
First of all, to be suicidal and think, this is how I'm going, this little hole in the wall, and having no idea where that chute is going and how, I don't buy it.
Where it's going and how, it's going to the basement fast.
Yeah.
Oof.
Can you even imagine, like, if she hadn't, if she hadn't been dead before someone pushed her in that, or before she fell in? Could you imagine falling on accident through that?
No.
You're so drunk, you just like, oh no, my cell phone, my watch, or something.
Oh no.
And you fall into that. It's so dark and cramped. Could you imagine your claustrophobia? Ugh.
No. See, I'd be glad if I died in that situation, because I don't want to live with that.
I'll put the picture, by the way, of the trash chute on social media. So look out for that, guys, after this comes out, so you can get a look at it yourself. Wild, terrible. Can't even imagine. Dad's worst nightmare. Probably the worst way to die, in his opinion, outside of like being stuck on an airplane that's crashing with a crocodile or something.
Yeah, no, that's fucking horrendous. Mm-hmm. Ugh.
Yeah.
See, Jessica, that's why I work at a desk. That's why. Those are the reasons why.
So that you don't end up in a trash chute?
Yeah.
Why would that save you?
Because I wouldn't be there.
Because you wouldn't live on the 27th floor?
Yeah. I couldn't afford to.
Okay.
Working at my desk.
That's true.
Dude, fuck that. Because either she was killed or she felt so confident in that. That confidence only comes from the blue collar.
Yeah. Do you mean the white collar?
No, the blue collar.
The confidence?
Yes. Because the blue collar would be like, oh, I can do that. No problem. Let me just reach down 27 floors for my phone. And then whoop.
She's not a blue collar lady, though.
Of course she is, Jessica.
No, she's white collar. She's very rich. She came from money.
You said she is very rich?
Yeah.
She's dead. How can she be rich?
I think you know what I mean. She had a lot of money before she died. She had a lot of money before she got married.
She got married?
Yeah, her husband is the one charged with killing her.
For some reason,
so out of it.
No, for some reason you were like, yeah, like she was married. And in my head, I was like, oh my God, she died on her wedding night.
Jacob is really feeling the alcohol right now.
I am. I'm going down like a cheap whore.
Yeah, you look like you are fading fast. So let's get this wrapped up.
I am fading fast. I'm going to spin the wheel while I still got a little oomph.
Do it.
For lack of a better word.
Don't say that.
All right. You're one of those people that chooses to eat from the trash. Where do you forage? Parentheses. You're not homeless, just a freak.
Oh,
So you're not eating out of the trash because you need to.
okay.
You're eating out of the trash because you want to.
All right.
Where do you go like to get your trash food?
What was that little pastry? Not little, honestly, but really successful pastry shop in Burbank. The one that made the potato balls with the meat inside.
Oh my God.
Porto's Bakery. I would eat out of their trash. That'd be my go-to.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like it'd just be a lot of like plantains.
I think it'd be a lot more than that.
You think more than just plantains?
I could decide to just like, I don't know, graze on things here and there throughout the day. And at the very end of the day, when they're like, oh no, we didn't sell all this stuff, we have to toss it out, I'd have a feast.
Just eat it. Just eat it all.
All this gourmet food for free. Yep.
Okay.
Would yours be Panera bread?
No, it wouldn't be Panera bread. We're talking places that throw delicious food into their dumpsters.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go with...
Starbucks?
No, I was going to say, let's do... Schlotzsky's.
You're weird.
No. Just imagine that bread. Oh, fuck that. Now that I said that out loud, pass. I'm going to go to like a Mexican grocer. Like Vallarta.
But those are just ingredients, not necessarily stuff put together, though.
Just in the
And
trash.
you couldn't cook them,
And I go through the trash can and guess what I find? Pan dulce.
I guess.
Delicious pan dulce.
I think you're making a terrible decision, but you're also too drunk to make a better one, so.
This is absolutely fact. Can barely keep my eyes open.
Jake's fading fast.
I'm going to take a nap.
Now that we've have the camera on too, they
No.
get to see when
No.
we're weak and stumbling. You caught Jacob on a bad day.
This is a rough day. I told you I've been tired all fucking week
You have been, and you did tell me, so.
and it's happening again.
Well, all right. I think we're good to go. Please like, rate, and subscribe.
And share this podcast. You can share it with anyone who works with trash compactors or who,
Has trash that they throw out.
yeah, including the corpses of servicemen like Jessica wishes.
I don't wish that.
You can share it with anyone who supports the troops like I do, or who absolutely despises the troops like Jess.
I don't despise them. I'm married to one, and my father is one, and many of my friends are as well.
She's a wolf in sheep's clothing, it
Nope.
sounds like.
No, our sister is a serviceman. I don't hate servicemen. I love servicemen.
It's not what it sounds like.
Well.
It sounds like you're ready to...
Anyway, please visit our website at 3shotsin.com, and please visit us on Patreon/3shotsin, because there you can find a lot of wonderful, amazing goodies for a very moderate and modest, reasonable price, I believe. Please join us also on Instagram and Facebook. 3 Shots In on Facebook and 3 Shots In Podcast on Instagram, where we go live every Friday.
Every Friday you get to get a nice little sneak peek preview
Yeah.
as to not only what we're going to talk about, but the kind of people that we are. You know,
Yeah.
you get a little
Sure.
sneak peek into our souls.
I mean, okay.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a lot of titty talk in there, and
We do talk about tits quite a lot.
and trash speak.
Yes, it's trashy and raw, uncut.
Ooh, got my attention.
I bet.
That was lame. More importantly, though, subscribe on Patreon. It's only $5 a month. You can become a member on Patreon. You can watch our super secret exclusive podcast, 3 Shot Cinema. You can watch all of these bonus takes that we do.
You mean listen to? You said watch.
Oh, no, you can't watch them yet. Just listen to them.
Yeah, but they are there, and there's a lot. You got a lot to catch up on.
If you are not on Patreon, you should go right now. Drop everything you're doing. 3shotsin.com. Select our Patreon page and subscribe right now.
Good job, Jacob.
Thank you.
We would love to have you. So please join our current list of patrons who are active. We love you so much. We are inspired by you and your love. We're aroused by you and your love.
Oh,
Not in a sexual way, Jacob.
like tickled.
Yes. Excited.
Okay.
That kind of way.
Well, anyway, next week's episode. Are you excited for it?
I think I am.
So it's season 4, episode 20. This is 3 Shots In 420.
Oh. So we're talking about drugs.
We are talking about marijuana.
Mary Jane.
That's right. It's all got to connect there.
Cannabis.
Sure. Or anything else that'll get you high.
Is that what 420 means? I thought 420 specifically meant pot.
Does it? I heard that like one of the like.
Okay, you're in absolutely no state to answer that question, so we'll get back to it next episode. We'll get back to it. Thank you for trying.
Anyway, the next week's topic is high.
It is high.
High.
And we'll see you then. High 420.
I'm fucked up.
Yeah.
All right, good night, everybody.
Yeah. We'll see you then. Good night. Like, it's just, there's no point in answering it.
Oh, but if I pull, oh my God, I hate you and
I
your
can't
hiccups.
stop.